So Daniel in the blue here, he's playing as the Khmer on Acropolis to start it all off. He's up against the Viper, and Viper had a really awkward start to this season. He's currently tied in 4th place, so he's not guaranteed playoffs or anything. But Viper looked better the previous week. Seemed like he turned it around. I think overall he's been in better shape. I think he had a little bit of a wake-up call. And Viper is a big favorite here in this series.
Daniel is also one of those players where if you're the favorite coming in, that seems to really matter against him. He's
Agreed.
not an upset kind of guy.
Yeah.
Like Viper has so much confidence against Daniel, and Daniel has a lack of confidence against guys he's not expected to win against.
Agreed. There are some exceptions to that, which I could get into, but not really important. I think the main thing that I want to say on that is these days, Viper is a slow start, and if you rattle him in the first game, he can actually, that can linger. And I felt as though in his series against Valis, which he ultimately won 3-0, he should have lost the first game. Valis maybe threw a little bit, and then all of a sudden Viper was fine. So I don't know what that is, but certainly, you never know what Viper you're going to get sometimes. So there's no better time than now if you're Daniel to send it. Maybe you win the first game, maybe Viper gets rattled, and maybe Viper actually gets relegated this season.
Viper and Doubt being relegated would be wild.
Would be crazy.
The change of the guard.
I think it'd be... Obviously, I don't want Viper to get relegated, but with all the jokes that Viper has made about Doubt going to Gold League, I do think it would be very fun for Doubt to also make jokes if Viper were to join him.
I mean, and Doubt said he might not play Gold League if he gets relegated down there, but if Viper's down there, I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Yeah. I think...
Put him in the same group. He'll play.
People... Dude, I heard privately from so many players who got relegated, and there's been some big names, that they'd lost all motivation to even play in Gold. It was just so gut-wrenching for them. They said they wouldn't. They always did, right? And guess what?
Time heals all wounds. Yeah,
time heals all wounds. And you know what else heals wounds? Confidence of winning like 11 games instead of 4. And so I think Gold is actually good for some people as a bit of a wake-up call, and also just a reminder that, yeah, you're actually really good at this game. It's just that the Platinum is really tough. So Daniel's gone for Khmer. Sorry, go ahead. We need to talk civs, I guess.
I was going to say, like, in this matchup, and we've seen this matchup a lot, Khmer against another civ that can play scouts. My question is, will Daniel get punished for not having the barracks? That is always my question when there's a scout matchup. It kind of changes a little bit with the water involved, because they'll be focused on that a little bit, so that maybe they play into more of an archer start or something like that. But still, even going archers without the spearmen, it's really risky, right? If your opponent plays into scouts, which Viper will likely do, not having spearmen around means that you have to keep your horses at home, and you can't be pressuring the other person. So sometimes even adding that barracks with Khmer is really important, even if you don't need it.
Yeah, I agree. The other thing to talk about here, similar to the conversation we had on Jungle Swamp, is the level of water commitment they'll go for. On Jungle Swamp, there was 5 deep fish. Here, there's 2. And usually by the time you're in Feudal Age, there's not a lot of food left there in the first place. So
there's still shorefish, though. There's 1,200 shorefish.
Yeah.
So it's something.
So I think the Persians are actually the best civ for this map if you're going to dock. I think they're better than even Chinese, even though Chinese are top tier, maybe even Mongols. So Viper's #1 civ pick is at play here. This should be good for him. And then you have to think from Daniel's perspective, it's like if the Persians are better at that, do you even make the ships at all? Well, on one hand, you obviously kind of feel like you have to, but on the other hand, you're playing towards the Persian strength. So I don't know.
Also, like, look at this setup already. Just Persians, 3 fishing ships. Persians, an extra villager.
Yep.
Because of the TC, right? So the eco for Viper here, before any of the Khmer farms come out, is better than Daniel's.
Yeah, it's really good. And so with that said, that's actually why I think a lot of players won't do what you said and add the barracks. If you think the matchup's even, you add the barracks. But if you think you're behind, you sometimes
need an advantage.
You go YOLO with the scouts. Yeah. But we'll see.
I'd almost love to see like the cheeky demo opening from Daniel, just to try and get the 3 fishing ships, because you're not going to have a lot of gold to repair that fire, even if you go for it. So like it maybe catch Viper off guard. Like maybe you attack somewhere with a scout, Viper pays attention, and that's when you send the demo.
Yeah, I like
try
that.
and get the 3 fishing ships.
Yeah, I like it. And then you don't send Vills to gold and play that type of game. You hopefully you force him to reinvest into the water. So Daniel's scout moves forward. We'll find Viper's base. Pretty easy to do that when both players are up on the hill. And we'll see the stable for Daniel. And it will come as no surprise to Viper or to anyone watching if they know the Khmer. And Viper's still no stable yet. He opened with the Fire Galley first. So that's why.
He's going to drop the stable forward this time. No urgency there. Just one villager making it. That's just classic Viper, isn't it? Like, let's
No
get
urgency.
scout pressure out.
Yeah.
Well, just make it with one Vill.
Look at Daniel
Whatever.
toying with him with this scout, though, dude. Daniel is being as annoying as possible. And this is what Daniel loves to do. He loves to be the micro nerd. He loves to get any edge he can. Now, he will not steal those at the end of the day, but it's still annoying for Viper to deal with.
Here comes the demo from Daniel. Now, Daniel needs to be distracting Viper at the same time he sends out this demo. So he's got the scout that Viper's trying to trap. The flag is there. Viper sees the demo coming out, and Daniel only gets one.
Yeah.
You have to, if you're going to go for the demo play, I really think you have to, like, pretend to commit somewhere else.
Agreed.
And force their attention over there.
I agree with that. It did get a kill, but you do wonder if it was worth it. You also got to wonder if it's worth it to even add another fishing ship here. But it's still some resource income for Viper. You don't want to say no to that. And he's got the slight lead.
When you've got wood floating, when you have wood floating like this, like, add another one. Sure. There's still a ton of shorefish there.
Houses are not prepped. Viper came here fast, dude. Normally there's a little bit more time. Viper got here quick. And Viper will snipe that Vill. Daniel won't have time to get into the house there. So well played from Viper. I love how quick to the timings there. It's something I've been critical of with Viper in recent times. It's a little sloppy at the start. He doesn't find those key moments to really take advantage and be cutthroat.
And this is the difference between Khmer and another Civ when you're playing scouts. Viper's got a spearman on the woodline. He's got one on the berries. It's only 4 scouts for Daniel. He can't really take these fights.
Yeah.
Whereas Viper, when he comes over to Daniel's base, Daniel either has to hop in the houses or keep all of his scout army at home.
And Daniel is going to switch archers, though. Like I like this. This helps you if you can't go for spears. At least, like, somewhat offensively, it counters the spears. I also think walling in the wood line's necessary. He's doing that. Most of Yuriko otherwise is going to be protected with farms around the TC. And so Viper doesn't know about the range timing. Daniel's also on gold, so he could make a fire galley. But I think it's clear his focus is on scouts and archers.
The scouts are still forward. Viper slowly walling up his base. Got to be careful. It is still Viper, right? Even with a rough start, you don't want to run your scouts in somewhere because you don't know what he's got cooking. What sort of quick wall or trap attempt he can attempt to do.
And Daniel just ensuring that there's no potential damage for Viper on the berries or the wood. And honestly, if he just pulls back home with all his scouts so he can advance forward with his archers here. If he gets fletching, this could get kind of dangerous for Viper. It's going to be 5 archers for Daniel soon.
Being aggressive with the spears there, and the walls are up for Daniel, so that's really nice. And he actually leaves with the archers.
Trying to be
leaves
sneaky
with the archers instead of going for the spearmen because at the moment there's no way for Viper to get in.
Also,
so this might be a really good decision here for Daniel.
Viper still thinks the archers are in that range. He didn't double check that. And yeah, I like this move from Daniel if he can advance forward.
He needs fletching though.
Notice that from Viper though, he's showing me nothing. So something has to be coming to my base. That's really good awareness.
And it's a second stable from Viper. I like that a lot, actually. If there's no spears from the Khmer player, second stable, you can just overwhelm Scout Archer with your own scouts.
I agree. I honestly really like the opening from Daniel, though. It might not work, right? Because Viper's played great. He's got Persians. But he has Bloodlines now. Blacksmith is coming up for fletching. That will probably come in. But it's all about the timings here. Viper knew this would be coming, though. And now Daniel knows he's spotted. And I think Daniel's like, oh, man, that's a lot more scouts than I was expecting.
Blacksmith for Viper. He's thinking about the armor. I think armor is probably, I mean, better here than Bloodline. Maybe not better, but armor is very doable.
Yeah. You want both, ultimately. Viper just needs to buy a little bit of time. And every time Daniel looks at that army, he sees the hill and he just thinks, I don't have enough yet. And So well calculated from Viper. And now he knows.
1K extra res collected for Viper already.
This is sharp. Like, this is the Viper that I was waiting for. This is super sharp. Like, the eco upgrades are in. The timings on the military is crazy. And it's been sharp from Daniel as well. But it is, unfortunately for him, been the correct call to back up. He doesn't want to, but if he moved forward, he would have lost everything. Just might get worse for him, though.
40 villagers against 35. And it's only 50 seconds of idle TC time from Daniel. Only 30 seconds more. So that really shows you the Persian TC. Plus the villagers that Viper, or the one villager that Viper sniped earlier.
I wonder if Daniel's going to have the guts to sneak the archers away from his scout group.
You can't, dude. This scout group is too dangerous from Viper right now.
Yeah, but what you don't want to do is you don't just want to react to Viper. You want to somehow set the pace. Viper doesn't see the army. He's going to peel off one scout from that group to look for this. If Daniel goes to the wood line right now, he could give Viper some problems.
See, Viper has no idea where this army is. He still doesn't see it. He's seen it now. He's seen it now. He can pull the vills. He's got to pull the vills, I think. He's going for some house walls. He's going to delete a house on the other side. No, he goes for a tower. Okay, so Viper commits here. The scouts are all the way at Daniel's base. He's sending them back home now, but Daniel has an opportunity to do some damage. It looks like that tower is going to be just on time, and Daniel needs to leave.
Yeah, nice damage control from Viper. And coming back home isn't the worst thing, because if you clear all of this, Daniel will have some big problems.
Man, fully upgraded feudal scouts.
Crazy. Forging for Daniel,
This is a fight you can just patrol into soon if you're Viper.
Dude, this is what people want with Acropolis. Like, we've had towers, we've had the demos, fires, tons of army. But Daniel knows that Viper's massing to come kill him now, and he's kind of trapped back here. You can't leave your archers on their own because they'll get sniped. That's a good spot for Daniel. That gives you the best possible fight. Just wedge your units into that choke.
It also feels bad because you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Just sitting here. It's a good spot. Great. That's fantastic. But you're also going to lose your scouts here, and eventually your archers are going to die.
You know what I think's actually better there for Daniel? Just let the archers die and at least keep your scouts alive. If you stay, you lose everything. And he was going to be far behind in the scouts anyways, but what's he have to do to recover here? He's got to make more scouts.
Daniel.
And that is a very... That is unfortunately a very Daniel resign. He says, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do now. And in actuality, I mean, it's 17 scouts for Viper. It's just 4 for Daniel. Daniel's archers that he has at home, wherever they are. I don't even know. It says he has 8. They probably won't accomplish much. But I think I understand what Daniel did. He wanted the best fights for his scouts and his archers. That did give the best value to his archers possible. But it's 5 archers. Right, so or 6 archers. So I think maybe let them die, fall back with your scouts, maybe make it messy. Viper played clean, and Viper takes the first win.
That was a confidence win from Viper.
Yeah.
Like, you could tell he I don't think he's really lost to Daniel many times.
Yes.
Maybe on the ladder a couple times, but he's really used to winning against Daniel easily.
Yeah.
And that was just, you could tell, just no urgency on the first stable, right? He was just perfectly comfortable all the way through the game.
Agreed. Yeah. So Daniel picks Viper's home map for game number 2 to play all 3 regardless. You start with the transport here on Pacific Islands. It's migration times 2, kind of. And you know Daniel, he wants to go to Viper's Island right now, right? Is that what he's doing? Put his scout in there. He's heading forward. He wants damage as quickly as possible. Yeah.
Find that dock villager, you can get some good damage.
But, you're going forward before the opponent even docks. I think he just can't help himself. I think he has to do something and be aggressive. That's how he likes to play, and that's how he thinks he's going to get an advantage. This is classic Daniel. 2 minutes, and he's on the opponent's islands already.
He's scouting, man. He's scouting. Look, he's looking on the shoreline. He's looking for that dock villager.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta love it.
It's too early for that. He has to know that. Lumber camp isn't even up yet.
He's gonna try and steal buffalo too.
Some of the buffalo and put them in his transport.
Yep.
Too bad you can't lame the rhinoceros and then hop in, and then it hops in with you. How many boars? He says.
Great preparation, Daniel. Great preparation, bro. Round 4, he doesn't know how many boars are here, and Viper has to tell him it's one. And Daniel says thank you. Great prep, bro.
He got 1 water buffalo.
Okay. And Viper says anything for you, Danny boy. So again, they know each other quite well, but does that seem like a guy who's intimidated by Daniel? I don't think so. And Daniel's going to take that water buffalo back home. So, I forget what... It was a qualifier for like...
No, he can't help himself, dude. He can't help himself. He's back on. He's back on the island.
It's so funny, dude. Like, and this is kind of what you want from an underdog, too. You want someone to do whatever they can to get ahead.
The dog villager.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. Let's see if Viper walls this off. And Viper has the transport ship there, and he knows that Daniel's scout is at home. And now Daniel has no transport ship to save his scout.
Yeah, I was going to say, watch him go all the way home to send the buffalo there, and then he's not going to be able to get his scout away. Yeah, there's the dock. It wouldn't surprise me if Viper says something here. I'd be laughing if I'm Viper. I'm like, this is such a Daniel move. But that's Viper knowing his opponent, knowing you need to place that wall. So that was funny. Yeah. So story time, right? Because some people are going to be like, there's no way he's ever going to get damaged. So on a normal migration game, it was Daniel versus Ozone, and I think Warlord's qualifier, okay? And Daniel, it transported to the middle. They're building like TCs and doing all the stuff you do on water. He still somehow found the time to transport 2 archers and the starting scout to the starting island on standard migration of Ozone. Ozone didn't notice it. Ozone lost like his whole wood line. And I rewatched that. I'm just like, that is the most Daniel thing ever to try and force the issue. He's good at it. It's really annoying to play against.
Viper's coming over to his island too. Daniel's got 2 villagers there fishing, so they're not exposed. But I mean, if Daniel can be annoying, Viper can also be very annoying with his scout. See what he chooses to do here. And he knows where the scout is from Daniel. It's like on his side. He doesn't know if it's on his island anymore, but it's definitely not back here.
Yeah, and Daniel saw that, I think, because he shifted his buffaloes around. Now, in the first game, Daniel tried to steal some sheep, so Viper might remember that. But Viper doesn't want to lose any HP. Viper has scouted the northern area in the middle. So, well, I guess he scouted a little bit of both. But I would guess he goes to the north because he's seen more gold there. And Daniel is scouting the southern area, so they might end up in different spots. Transport ships are right next to each other. And we see Feudal Age on the way here for Daniel. So we didn't really talk about the openings. I mean, the thing about this map is while there is a lot of water, controlling the water early doesn't really help your economy like other maps. There's not a lot of fish. So usually full on water isn't just game winning or game ending on this map. It can still be a strategy.
Which civ do you like better?
I think I prefer Dravidians. I think the extra carry capacity, is really helpful. The pop space on your docks, super smooth. The extra wood, like for the first 12, 13 minutes, Dravidians are incredible. Later on, it has to be Portuguese. Yep.
Yeah.
Daniel doing some wild stuff here. So he drops off one vill to build a house. And now he still has another vill in the transport.
He's got another one.
He's so crazy.
Gonna transport that to like one of the islands and make a sneaky dock on one of these one-tile islands?
I don't know where he's going, but
he might try and make he might not know the map, and he might try and make an island on like the mangrove forest terrain, or make a dock on the mangrove forest area.
It almost feels like he in prior rounds did sneak archers twice. For a second, I thought maybe he would build a barracks at home and sneak an archer range on Viper's Island. But I think, if anything, a forward dock is the play. But, like, for those that don't typically watch Daniel, he can play standard and with the best of them. But when he's the underdog, this is the Daniel you see.
Where is he going with this?
I have no clue.
Oh, he saw the dock. Okay, back up. And there's a house right there.
Is he going to...
But Viper hasn't seen the villager. He has no idea.
Why would there ever be a vill there? Don't tell me he's going to tap. He doesn't even see the gold is there.
He's not going to tower. He's thinking about an archer range, I think.
Yeah, but he needs a barracks. He just completed the barracks.
He
Is
has
he
a barracks.
actually
He
going to
has a
range there? Is he actually going to build an archer range there? I was kidding.
He doesn't know about the one house there, though, so he might build it in the wrong spot. If he builds it right in front of him, it's going to be fine.
He doesn't have the wood right now because he's still going to do other things. Wait, he's building the archer range in the north, bro.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, he probably just scouted. No, he didn't even scout. No, he scouted Viper's lumber
another
camp.
one. Second range on Viper's Island. Let's go.
Let's
dude.
go.
It's just out of sight. Just out of sight. If one of those gold villagers bumps to the other side of the gold, Viper's going to see that.
You know what's better than 2 archer ranges on islands?
What?
3. Never mind. You ruined it.
Oh.
Okay.
Sorry, you're the expert here.
Yeah,
right?
I am. The fire ship's moving through the middle. This will be tough. I mean, these are Portuguese fires. It's tough to kill. And if you look at Viper's scouting, he doesn't know that Daniel has either of these ranges, bro. Wait. But he's bringing Vils, and now he sees that archer range because he was coming to transport to the other area. Oh, my goodness, dude.
This is why you got to go past that dock you saw if you're Daniel and go to the very back of Viper's Island with that villager. But, I mean, it's hard.
Did Viper even
Daniel's
notice it?
thinking
Viper
about
didn't
that.
really react.
He definitely did. He's making another range on his home island,
Okay.
so he's going to go skirms in defense there. He knows it's only one range production from Daniel. It's probably going to be archers, right? You can defend against that perfectly fine.
Viper lost his scout. He doesn't know that there's going to be archers from Daniel from the other range. So I kind of like this from Daniel. Viper could be surprised. This is not your typical play. He also has transported Vils to the other island in the south. He doesn't have a mill yet on the berries, but at least he has the Vils there.
I mean, they're still collecting the wood from foraging the berries, even without the mills, so that's perfect, and drops the mill.
I love the craziness here. I don't know if it'll work. It feels like he's trying to do too much too fast, but if you're going to surprise Viper, this is the way to do it. Viper's got a lot to react to. Now there's the archers popping out from Viper's Island.
Viper just got fletching. He just got fletching. Daniel's on the hill, though. Daniel's on the hill. This could be
Viper's
could be
not
really
looking
rough
there.
for Viper, and
Viper's not looking
he's
there.
Housed, Tristan. He's not producing there, so Daniel's going to kill some villagers over here. Viper doesn't have much to defend. Nothing to defend against that.
Yeah, he was not looking there, Dave. He was looking at the other archers, which Daniel's still keeping alive. Daniel with the micro nerding here. Super well played. Messy for Viper. Viper's galleys, though, were also microing down the fire ships. But now that gets tough for him to focus on that. Wow.
I think it's tough for both, man. It's really, really tough to focus on this. I mean, Daniel just lost 2 archers against the villagers, right? And he's going to lose this one on Viper's Island as well. And it's just like, it's so much easier for Viper to defend in this scenario than it is for Daniel to attack.
Daniel, can you not build your stable there? Can you build it in the other island, please? I mean, I can't... I can't be convinced that that's the spot you have to place the stable, but his opponent's defended with some skirms, I guess, and this seems to be the game plan, so he's going to slowly try and overtake Viper's starting island.
If he could get 1 scout here and clear the skirms, then the archers are a problem for Viper.
This is true.
And suddenly he has to like drop a tower or something, and then he's got limited wood to take. Unfortunately for Daniel, I mean, Viper is pushing back on the right side, still has more villagers on the middle islands, and seems to be in a fairly comfortable position. He's walling in these archers at home.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm surprised Viper isn't setting up a trap, and that's Viper for you. Blocks it off. The archers can't get over to the stable, which Viper doesn't know about.
Daniel.
Yeah, his micro is insane. Also, 14 seconds of idle TC is absolutely insane. Also, Viper could lose an archer to a Jaguar warrior. Or not a warrior, but, you know, just a tiger, excuse me.
Honestly, think Viper needs to start evacuating more villagers. The wood line area, like just get the wood villagers out of there, and then you can tower the gold, and you're gonna be fine. You know?
It's so funny, dude. I love Daniel. It's so fun. Yeah, you're right. Like this is gonna continue to happen. You've got to leave, and we have a pause now.
Daniel's going for a dock on the back of Viper's Island too.
I mean, why not at this point? We've seen an archer range, we've seen a stable, we've seen houses, we've seen a dock. I think we'll probably go university and siege workshop there too. Why not even a castle? 1 villager castle in the back. Let's do it, Daniel. Go for it.
We're gonna get to a point where Daniel is going to be producing on Viper's Island and then transporting with that back dock to bring units to the center.
100%.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind, man. This is just...
Unfortunately, Viper's just going Castle Age, though. And,
yeah.
Like,
and
could absolutely destroy. One Elephant Archer and then one Armored Elephant. And all of this is gone.
I think the key here for Daniel, while the land is all good, he can't completely lose water because his eco at home is abysmal. He needs to be transporting away at some point. So the water's still a key, and Viper's held on there very nicely. Oh my god, here come the
Archer's
scouts,
coming
though.
back on the right side. Scouts coming in on the main island. And Viper's like, what on earth? Where things come from? What even are these?
I can't help but laugh. I'm sorry. I mean, it's serious aggression. It's just not something that anyone would ever expect. You can't prepare for this if you're Viper. This is not something that normally happens, and he makes it to Castle Age. He has to make a stable with Dravidians. He's thinking about ways to clear this up. Also, Daniel is fishing. Daniel is fishing with that back dock, dude. Like,
Let's
what?
Go. You'll never find it. Never find that dock. Dude, why not make a Siege Workshop here if you're Viper? Why make it stable?
Yeah, Siege Workshop makes a lot of sense, but there's archers. You might want a Siege Workshop on literally every other island. There's so many different things for Viper to focus on, and it might be kind of working. I mean...
Ooh, Daniel's berry villagers in the South Island.
But Viper's gold villagers. Viper is killing the very villagers, but he doesn't realize his gold villagers are going down.
Oh my goodness. Elephant Archer there now. That'll help a lot against the Feudal Age army. Viper is still microing those villagers. So all 5 of Daniel's villagers, if he's not careful, will be cleared up there.
Daniel's getting forging. Daniel's making more fires. He's producing out of pretty much every building he has. All of his docks, all of his ranges, all of his stables.
Another fishing ship coming at the back there too. Viper still no idea about that dock.
And Viper's just going to drop TCs. I think Daniel, if he spots that, will just dive for the Vills, right? I think that feels like the most reasonable play. This isn't going to get much better for you if you're still in Feudal and your opponent's in Castle. You have to deny that. And here he comes. Viper only has 2 Elephant Archers. You can't really kill the Elephant Archers. But there's other scouts now. Oh my god, there's other scouts on Viper's woodline as well. This is crazy.
There's one elephant back there. So that's why he made the stable. Okay.
Yeah.
For some battle elephants. And now Elephant Archer, Battle Elephant, like you can't kill these units if you're Daniel. Man, it's going to take a long time for Viper to clear this, but you just can't get rid of them.
If Daniel can manage a decent farming eco on his starting islands and coming back on water a little bit, I think this is winnable for him.
Maybe.
Like, Viper's eco is super inefficient, but I think to execute this much aggression, you also just don't have the eco at home, typically.
Viper's going to clear up the final 2 villagers on the other island. So all of the villagers that Daniel has had forward are gone, and he calls the GG. It was a good attempt, dude. It was fun.
Oh, Daniel. Yeah. See, the problem here is his armies are slowly starting to get cleared up, and he isn't winning water. Like, Viper is still holding on to some water control. I would still really like Daniel to play on a little bit more. This is his reputation a little bit, but I think Viper...
I mean, this game is chalk either way.
It probably
At this point,
is. Yep, it probably is.
This is a legitimate resign. Like, there's not much you can do. You're going to lose your army on Viper's base. You don't have Castle Age coming in.
Yep.
You don't have a great eco, and you just lost 6 villagers on the middle
And Viper's 3 TCs. And you haven't even clicked. So by the time you make it to Castle, Viper's going to be 20 vills up, full water control, full island control. But, can we all salute and respect the attempt there? It was crazy. Maybe a little bit too crazy, but it's what he feels like he needs. So that was... Watching a player lose in 23 minutes has never been so fun. Like, that was...
I think
that
like,
was really fun.
If Daniel had positioned his archer range a little bit better...
Yeah.
Like, he knew where the dock was. You skirt around the dock line of sight, and you go to the back of Viper's Island, you put it where that stable is. And then you show up with, like, 3 archers with fletching on the gold before Viper knows you're there. He doesn't have a range. Suddenly, that game is way different.
You know what I think is possibly more valuable, too? I get that Viper has more vills in the starting island, but it's very hard to move around. It's very hard to justify staying here. What if the stable didn't come up here, and you instead make the stable in the northern island, like that open area. Because if you take Viper out of there, that's where Viper needs to be long term. Viper will then make skirms defensively for the range you make on the front, but then they're just stuck there and useless. I don't know. It's tough to say. But I mean,
also a clutch transport from Viper to bring those few archers from the North Island to the South one.
yes, that was so good.
Daniel.
That was so good. Yeah, it was really good awareness. And I mean, how Viper ended up having a 43 to 21 KD there when, like, look at the produced units there. It's 9 archers for Viper, 8 skirms, 4 galleys as the top 3. Daniel made 27 archers, 10 fires, and 8 scouts. Daniel's army and navy should have been superior, but Viper's timings and micro is just better. So 2-0.
Going to the swamp.
Going to the swamp. Do we see another sneak Vil from Daniel? He loves to do it.
I don't know what he plays here.
Well, I think he plays
Archer
Japanese.
again?
Yeah, plays Japanese.
I know he plays Japanese. I can see that.
Oh, they're probably in the next game already because it's Daniel.
Yeah.
Daniel could do a best of 11 or a play all 11 in probably like 3 hours. He either wins right away or he loses right away. Yeah, Cav Archer's very big in our meta at the moment. Japanese, great with the fishing in the middle, so eventually that's the plan, but Lithuanians seem to be pretty solid pick if Viper can get onto skirmishers. But isn't that a situation where if Daniel could, if he had it in him to just say, let's play somewhat smooth and standard now, that maybe it's better for him? Like if he doesn't go for like the back dock and the stable.
Well, I mean, that's what that was also a water map, right? Like this is a hybrid map. This is very similar to Acropolis, and he played really kind of standard on Acropolis. He just lost.
Yeah.
So like I think he'll play relatively standard here as well.
You know what?
I'm just going to be keeping an eye out on like when he goes to gold or if he goes to gold for the ships.
Something that would be very Daniel right now, and arguably a good play for Viper here, is the other player's coming to the middle, and no one ever wants to get Loom. So if you want that early aggression, you could bring your Vil and bring your Scout and just try and kill that villager. Now, when you're up against Viper, it's different rules.
He's going to quick wall it.
Yeah. But just something to think about here. But yeah, I just... the games have been just so fun, dude. Like, oh, man. But Viper's looking good now. I didn't look at the odds, but I think he's in a really good position to get into the playoffs at the moment. If he gets this final win, that puts him in even a better position. I think Viper could still get first place, but that would be if Dark and Heart lose some games that people aren't really expecting them to lose.
Well, I mean, Dark, he matches up against Andy, and
I think he has to play Heart as well.
Yeah, so like Dark could fall down here. He's got 7 points at the moment. He's 3-0. He's had unexpected wins, but I mean, he could easily lose 6 games.
It could be the reverse for Dark as what it's going to be for Viper, right? Viper lost a lot of games early you wouldn't expect. And then maybe Viper goes 3-0 here and 3-0 in the final round versus Andy. And then who knows?
There's a solid chance that Viper still wins this group.
Okay. Well, I mean, his shape is smooth. I think a lot of that comes down to it being week 4 now, having the wake-up call. But also today, he's up against Daniel, who he's pretty confident against. And here comes 2 Vils from Daniel. Again, wouldn't shock me if he actually keeps an eye on that shoreline and tries to deny Viper docking, but I think his scout is too far away for that.
Viper comes forward. 2 villagers is amazing. It's really, really solid.
Yep.
Can't do anything against that.
And Viper will know. Viper will just have the
Actually,
1 Vil.
If Heart and Dark play as the final round, I don't think Viper really... It's going to be tough for him to win. But
yeah.
like second place is very doable.
Well, I guess it comes down to round 4 then, right? Like, what happens if Heart and Dark both drop wins this round?
Yeah.
Then it's doable for Viper. But I think Heart plays Valis. I think Heart will be the favorite in that series. Dark Andy's kind of up in the air. Before this season, I would have said that maybe Andy wins that, honestly. Like 2-1 or something, so. Well, we're probably going to see scouts here. So, scouts into CA in Castle Age is what the Japanese would want. I'd like to see Daniel be crazy again and be aggressive, because if you try and go for the Cav Archer transition and the Lithuanians are on the other side, those skirmishers can be pretty terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think, how do the Japanese kill 50 fully upgraded skirms? Do they have an option? Like, Samurai don't...
Cav, yeah, Samurai are too slow.
Yep. Light Cav lack the final armor. Skirms are kind of the go-to here against the Japanese.
Just skirms for Japanese, I guess.
Yeah.
Skirms for skirms, right?
And obviously you think of like maybe Champion,
yeah.
But then some hand cannons get mixed in, and then it's a problem. You could argue Scorpions or Onager, but that's all kind of slow. So on a map like this, skirms definitely feel like the go-to. I've seen a lot of games on Cross where if the Lithuanian player gets to like 4 bombard cannons and 50 skirms, the Japanese player really struggles. Unless they had a massive lead before.
Well,
that's struggle.
just a classic Japanese conundrum, right?
That's
they
true.
have such a solid start, and then they have like a mid-tier tech tree all the way through into Imp, and then if someone has gunpowder and someone has a big mass of skirms, like you said, what are you doing?
Yeah. Viper thought about sending Vils to gold. Looks like he had 1 villager on gold. No, he got 40 gold, I think, and now is building the mill with those Vils. So he will bank that gold, so that takes him up to 90. So he'll want to make some ships. Daniel is walking back and forth to also get a little bit more gold. So they both done the same thing. So they could both make 2 ships, and I think then what matters a lot is who is attacking fishing ships and who is not, because you don't actually have the gold or the Vils there to repair.
Fire Galley coming out for Daniel, a little bit faster than Viper, so he's going to have the advantage there. Viper is tracking those villagers as they come back home. Daniel goes for a spearman, and Daniel cannot afford a second production building yet.
Yep, true. That's the downside of making the ships, right? I think Viper's still just on the barracks as well. So same deal there. Honestly, I think what you should do, because no one is mining gold in this situation, and they're both going to have 0 gold. You want to be the second person to arrive to the conflict in the middle, and you want to use your fishing ships as a bait. There's no repairs possible. You do not want to
I like the spearman here from Daniel, though.
Yeah.
I like the spearman. And there's one from Viper, too.
But let's see what happens when Viper pops out with his fire, right? Because then Viper, if he gets some free hits... he didn't get any damage.
A little bit of damage from the spearman of Daniel. So Daniel's actually ahead on the damage right now against the ship.
Yeah.
And Viper, like you said, there's no repairs, right? There's no repairs. So Daniel's going to try and box this in. His fishing ships and his fire. He's staying out of range of the spearman from Viper.
And
this
he's
is really
the
nice
fish
so far.
Yeah. Viper's going to think that he's masterclassed because he has a second fire on the way, but Daniel does as well. Daniel should win water here. Should, depending on how it goes. A lot of spearmen will be involved. And Daniel may be a little distracted elsewhere. Super messy. You also have to respect... You might not know they're not on gold, right? They could make a demo at any point, and you don't want that. Just must be really annoying to micro this right now. They're both
so
waiting
annoying.
for scouts.
You got the ships, the fishing ships, the fire galleys, and the spearmen. And you can't take too much damage because you can't repair.
Yeah.
Right? But the stable is up from Viper. The scouts are coming up. The stable is up for Daniel as well. He's got the same number of scouts on the field.
This should be good for Daniel on water. There's only 400 food left in the middle. So it's not the biggest long-term focus here. And Daniel scouts see Viper scouts. And it's even annoying to cast, actually, what we've just seen here in the middle. But this should shift into scout and spears. So, yeah.
Credit to both of them paying so much attention to that.
The amount of micro there is crazy, dude. I would have just patrolled and maybe microed 2 times and then said, whatever happens, happens. So...
Viper doesn't get it. He doesn't get either of the fishing ships either. So Daniel is going to have those fish in the center if he gets that ship to work. Viper only has 1 fishing ship left. It's about to die. But he does have 4 scouts, and Daniel's got 5. So it's actually a really good start for Daniel so far.
Yeah, really smooth. Neither player with horse collar. And Daniel getting housed ever so slightly, but makes sense with all this production. But again, you just got to think about the bonus of the Lithuanians. The faster spearman is so helpful in these messy games.
And look at the berries from Daniel. Okay.
Oh, yeah, true.
I thought that was Viper's spearman there. That was Daniel's spearman. Okay, that could have been a lot worse.
It's kind of hard to tell spearman color when they're facing away because their shield on the back is a neutral color. Without checking the HP bars, sometimes you just can't tell. Viper with some quick walls. I know it can be a little demoralizing when you see Viper do that, but you should be thinking that's fine for you because he can't stay there forever. And if he does, it could be a bit of a problem.
And it also, like, that's how he throws a lot of his games.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Trying to do stuff like that when something more important is happening.
Yeah.
Right?
Still gotta make your opponent work hard in these situations. And Daniel, active with the scouts. Close game. Really close game. But for Daniel's survival, he really needs this win. And Viper wants to make that push, see if first place is still possible. So $40 on the line, but the placement in the groups is everything here.
Very similar to the Acropolis game, except this time around, Daniel's the one who won the water, and Daniel has Spearman.
Yeah.
So he can actually hang out at home with Viper's stand ground scouts that are just kind of chilling near the berries. That's interesting. Lost track of those a little bit. And he can apply pressure forward with the scouts this time.
Yeah, Daniel just wasn't able to snipe a Vil as well there because he was reacting to Viper. I like the amount of Spearmen both have in queue at the moment. But Vil's on gold for Daniel. This could be for early Bloodlines, like we saw before. Could also be for Archers, but it doesn't feel like he has the wood income to make Archers consistently.
No Spearman at this back wood line for Viper. He sends one back there, and Daniel decided not to go. That could have been some good damage back there, but Viper's got spears there now. He can't hit it. Meanwhile, Scout's actually taking out the fires in the center. That's a nice find from Viper. Scouts actually kill fire galleys quite quickly.
Yeah, just don't know how long you want to lurk there. I think the first time you show up, it can work. The second time, there might be a demo.
Might be a demo, yeah.
I mean, if it were you, you would have queued the demo already.
I would have just put a fishing ship in my dock if I didn't have the gold. Keep the flag there. And never come around
all
again.
these years of casting and screaming about demos, and you never make one just because of the mind games.
Yep.
That'd be funny. Bloodlines now should be coming in for Viper too, though. He actually went to gold and is making a fire galley, which I guess makes sense. But Daniel has Bloodlines. Just, again, Viper matching his scout numbers. But with Bloodlines in, that's a pretty good fight for Daniel.
It's pretty good damage. He takes out 2 scouts. He needs to run, though. The spearmen are there.
Oh,
and now he's running into a situation where, both of us are looking at that thinking, like, don't do that against Viper, man. He's going to quick wall you in, and it's going to be a disaster.
Love it. I mean, win or lose, Daniel is sending it here again. Saw Viper has forging on the scouts. So he'll get forging as well, and now Viper's getting Bloodline. So they both pretty much have the same upgrades. There's more scouts out for Daniel, but there's more spears out. Well, at least where we're looking right now. A lot of the spears are in Viper's base, obviously.
It's all been one stable production here from Daniel, too. He's done a really good job keeping that thing working.
Yeah, Viper as well. The stable's been working nonstop. But you just got to think, on Acropolis, Viper only had 1 or 2 areas to worry about. Right now, even Viper can't quick wall everything against this many scouts, right? Like, this should be a situation where Daniel could dive.
He's counting on his spears. There's 3 spears at this wood line.
That's a lot of spears. It's true.
You can kill those. He's got forging, so he's going to kill him quite quickly. But still, that's a lot of damage. Daniel goes for it anyway, and he's found a really good engagement against the villagers. That's going to be 3 villagers dead from Viper. But on the other side, now Viper's taking out the spearmen from Daniel.
Yeah, we've reached the point where spearmen are no longer counters when the scouts have this many upgrades, and Viper will do the same. Daniel still looking for damage. There's more spears coming from Viper. He's got 5 there, so now Daniel can't fight. Daniel gathering up his own spears, but they're normal speed, so that's taking time. Viper maybe not with the best of micro there. He could have maybe killed 1 or 2 more, and both on the way to Castle Age. I mean...
Dude, this game is so even here.
So
Daniel
close.
has a slight lead because of the fish and the villager count, but Viper has horse collar. Viper still has the scouts forward. And arguably, Viper has the better civ.
Yeah,
the later we get into the game.
Gotta love it, man. And I really hope... I know that both these losses for Daniel have been on the back of some GGs that are a bit faster than people are used to. I hope people realize Okay, yeah. Daniel's an actual beast. He tried to send it the first 2 games. Didn't work out. But this is the thing that gets people out of their seats with this player. But can he finish the job?
Coming in now for Daniel. He skipped the spearman. Viper didn't know where he was. And now he shows up at the back, so Viper needs to pull away from that stone.
Yeah. So much to wall here. And neither players really relied heavily on the walls, which is in many ways quite smart. It'd be too difficult. Viper could be in trouble here, though.
Should be a devil, at least. Yep. Nice snipe there from Daniel. You just take that, and then you run away, but he's not paying attention. Okay.
Yeah, and also Viper's scouts are away from his base, so I think he might sense that Viper's trying to jump on this. And he sees that,
Daniel
but that's okay.
He is going cav archers here. He's added the extra... Oh, he's going for 3 range cav archers. Okay.
Yeah, that's good energy. And you know Viper's adding more scouts. So Viper is unlikely to go CA. And also, with the presence of your own scouts, you don't have to worry about skirmishers as much. This is the reason why, in this matchup, when you want CA, you have to play Feudal Age differently. I think it's a good decision from Daniel.
It's a good start, man. I mean, if you're going to be playing 3-range CA, it's always nice to be in Castle Age a little bit faster, and you know you have the better eco. Usually you're behind in that scenario, right? So you feel kind of bad, but right now, Daniel's got a good setup. If he doesn't let these scouts do damage. He doesn't let these do damage.
Like, Viper positioned his spears on the front because of where the scouts just were, and now Daniel's looping down below the wood line. And the scouts now from Viper are in, and those light cav are going to be dangerous for both now. But
the farms are just so far away from the TC too.
Yeah.
Like, Daniel's got the spearmen kind of running around the same energy as Viper, right? Viper just lost a bunch of spearmen in his base, and now he's running towards the TC. No more spearmen to protect. So a similar story on both sides, but Daniel has the cav archers to help out.
This is no better opportunity for Daniel than to get the job done. And look at him send it. He doesn't stay at home with most of his CA. He's sending them forward to Viper's base. He is not getting Viper time or the respect that many other players will. But sick from Viper. He'll abandon the one wood line, fall back to another, drops the TC on the gold, and still has so many light cav. Like, one mistake from Daniel, and those light cav kill his whole eco.
Yeah, but he's got cav archer numbers. And he's got the spearmen. Bodkin arrow is coming in. Like, the cav archers are going to be able to deal with those light cav soon. And this army forward is still a concern for Viper, but the knights are chasing it away. Great damage control there from Viper. His whole side of the base was open.
So difficult to control here, too, until you get that cav archer mass, right? There's an example of it. Daniel's turn to drop a TC in a bit of a panic.
It's a good TC. It's a good TC.
Yeah.
The timing's going to be perfect on that.
Feels like both players are going to stabilize their ecos for the next minute or two. And Daniel won't move out until he gets the cav archer mass up. Yeah, perfect timing on the TC, as you said. Light cav won't get the damage. Man, what a game. This is so fast. Like, this is very clearly so much faster than the games we saw with, like, Doubt and Yo earlier. There's so much happening. Maybe
the average... I want to see what the average APM is on this game so far. Yeah, it's 108 for Viper, 83 for Daniel. So it's a little above their average right now. Like, Viper's usually in the mid-90s, I think, overall game.
Well, Viper's eco does have time to stabilize a little bit, to think about something other than Knights potentially. But usually when you're on 3 TCs, it takes some time to have the food to get armor for the Knights.
But you're Lithuanians.
And to get skirms.
You get 100 food per TC. Like, that helps out a lot, right?
Yep.
Instant 2 villagers. Maybe you could get some more farms down. And Viper's adding some more farms now. However, Daniel has 14 cav archers.
It's a lot.
And it's still only the first armor upgrade for Viper. So he needs another couple minutes here to get his eco sorted.
Viper's TC positions are amazing, though. He's not really taking many resources that are exposed with his base setup. He's even reseeding farms behind his TCs right now. And now Daniel, he's still making Daniel work as well. Random Knights and Light Cav splitting up. Light Cav go to the wood line. Viper will find some kills. Knight now goes to the gold. Viper could find some kills. Love this play from Viper. But amazing defense from Daniel. And now he's forward and killed a villager from Viper.
Viper killed 2 villagers, lost all of his forward pressure, and Daniel sniped a villager at Viper's base at the same time.
Yeah.
Really, really solid.
Close.
But look at the reds collected, man. Daniel was ahead by like 1K. And now Viper's caught up somehow.
Yeah, he's got a lot of farms. TCs are protecting his eco. Also has monks out, so could start to think about snagging some relics. Still no elite skirm for Viper. It feels like it's not going to be elite skirm. He's just going to stick with knights. TC number 4 now for Viper.
Still 2 knights in the back. The wood lines for Daniel are spotty at best. And there's another villager dead. A lot of good pressure there from Viper. Daniel has to do, Daniel has to have 20 units forward to get the same results as those 2 knights from Viper in the back.
Remember that game earlier today where one player was down by 40 vills and they still won because they just got so many cav archers? Eventually, you need to actually kill these CA. And so Viper, he can't invest into many more knights right now. He doesn't have skirms. He has 1 relic, but the extra attack doesn't help you tank against cav archers. This is still kind of iffy for Viper in terms of map control.
I like all the little things Viper's doing. He can't go for the big walls, so like when he garrisons those villagers, he seeds farms at the back.
Yeah, right below.
Ones, instead of going to the ones that are already there in the front, because he knows those vills are going to die. Like, it's all the little things he's putting together here. And with 4 TCs, eventually his eco is going to scale ahead of Daniel's. It's just, you have to survive till that point.
I think Daniel is... I don't think he realizes how good his situation can be if he just continues to make Viper garrison his TCs. That's not what you want. You want kills here. He might be wondering where on earth Viper's taking wood right now. The answer is in the back, but eventually Viper's going to need to move forward for wood. And look at him just build TCs over to the right sneakily.
This night raid from Viper might be a problem. He's still got 2 over on the right side. You distract with those, and then you come in with the ones on the left. He's going to miss the TC. It's another well-timed TC from Daniel, although he doesn't know it.
Daniel getting some nice raids with the light cav there. Just saw that Viper had a lot on wood there, so he'll loop around. Yeah, this would be a lot of idle time for Daniel. And these knights are going to have +3 attack. 2 relics are in for Viper, plus the forging upgrade. Daniel CA are just idling Viper's eco. He doesn't have the army at home to deal with these knights. If he doesn't immediately garrison, he'll lose everything here. And he doesn't garrison with everything. He's looking at the other 2 knights right now, I think.
Yeah. And he's losing a lot of vills. Great raid here from Viper. And suddenly Viper is ahead on the Eco KD. The University is going to get stalled out. And Daniel is probably looking at the damage he's doing forward and thinking, wow, this is not enough.
Yeah.
I need to press deeper. I need to go for more.
Now, Daniel needs to fight that GG instinct right now.
Yes, I was just thinking about it.
You've got a lot of CA. Yes, I know this hurts, okay? But you need to fight that. The score is still there for you. I know it's looking bad. Like, he moves forward. He sees Viper's got monks now. It's so good for Viper, but gotta fight this one for a chance at survival, man. I love it from Viper, though. His boom has been sick, and the counter raid was in the perfect spot.
Honestly, dude, I think if he had seen the 4th TC from Viper, he might have GG'd right there. And there's actually 5.
Yeah, he doesn't know about all that. Yeah, it's just amazing from Viper to hold on. We've kind of said it, and now his eco's good enough to mix in the skirms. Daniel's spent a lot of time on the left side of Viper's base, like he's expecting Viper to be there. Viper's got everything elsewhere. Viper's just been able to freely move to that location. And more raids. I mean, pretty clear the difference in the raid potential with the army comms. Cav archers just control the map, but individual knights can split up so nicely. Crazy raids from Viper.
Yeah, Daniel sees 3 ranges coming up from Viper. He sees the skirms behind, so he knows there's no secrets here. He knows exactly what Viper wants to go for. Meanwhile, Viper gets another villager with a random knight. I mean, there's just been constant villager death in Daniel's eco.
Daniel, stop going to the left, bro. This is a wasteland.
He's locked in.
You can't think about it.
Area.
Yeah, it's one of, as a player, I do dumb things all the time. And if someone was casting me, or if you are casting me, there's a lot of questions asked. But he just can't, he hasn't realized there's value to that other area yet. Just seems really interested in this. Maybe because he knows there's so much stone and gold down there. But he sees Viper as a TC over there.
He saw the 4th TC. Yeah, he saw the 4th TC. He saw the farm eco set up over there. And he should realize what's going on. He also sniped 2 monks there, and then he sniped another one at the front. So that's good. little bit of value taken away from Viper. I mean, Viper already has 2 relics.
Skirms,
Great.
Skirms are going to be a problem if they get the upgrades. Viper doesn't have all the armor yet. Viper doesn't have the numbers yet. Viper losing some vills underneath the TC. You know what would go really hard here would be hill forts if Viper can build that castle. Like,
yeah, if he gets a castle, yeah, it'd be so good against the Cav Archers.
Yeah, hill forts and skirms, and the Cav Archers can't get anywhere near the eco.
Daniel now knows that Viper has 5 TCs.
Yeah.
And this is just going to be eating away at his mind. Like, oh, man.
Well, some players will ask, WWDD, what would Doubt do? And Doubt would use that stone and drop a castle on those TCs.
But where?
I mean,
you can't fit it in there.
You could maybe place it to the right of the TC Viper has.
Then you only take out 1 TC.
Well, I mean, you're right. Doubt wouldn't place that castle. Doubt would place it on, like, in between the ranges. he would somehow try and fit a castle there. And then it probably wouldn't go up. But here come the vills. Here come the vills. WWDD, here come the vills. And it's got to go forward. I think if you place a safe castle here, you have problems. But, oh,
Doubt would
man.
never send 14. Doubt would send, like, 8.
This is true. This is true. Knights in the mix to help
Viper
with the skirms.
sees the vills, dude. So Viper has the castle in the spot where we would have wanted the castle from Daniel.
Yeah.
And Viper's going to be able to click up to Imp. And I think if Daniel sees this castle, we might see the call coming in 3.
No. Daniel, do not resign.
2.
Do not resign, Daniel. Do not resign.
1.
Do not resign. Viper just lost his army. You place this castle on one of his other TCs. That's what you do. God, the pathing's not great, though.
He's going left, dude. Left is where he's focused most of this game, and he's going left.
Yeah. There he goes.
Oh, that's a castle spot. The monk with the relic. If Viper drops the relic right here, you can't place that castle. No!
Can you imagine?
That'd be the sickest castle denial of all time.
Or if Daniel accidentally killed it right on the foundation. I mean, a lot of things could have happened. Viper's responding with his own castle, and Daniel's going to dive. I don't know if Viper's castle goes up here. It's at 70%. He's going to lose a lot here, but Daniel
It'll go up.
is... Oh, it is a doubt.
3, 2, 1.
Well, he's on his...
up to him!
He's up to him. He's up to him. But obviously, a game that was once very close has gone only towards Viper. And yeah, I mean, Viper's so far ahead at this point. That really hurt. Daniel, he did the right thing there, I think. Viper had clawed ahead in eco. The forward castle was needed. And Viper,
dang,
he was brought to the limit there, but it's a 3-0.
Yeah, Viper played that really well. Like, all the little things he was doing, I was so impressed, because a lot of times people get all wrapped up in all of the raids and everything, and they send the villagers, like, back to the forward farms.
Yeah.
Viper was constantly making new farms in a safer location. He was constantly moving out to the right side because Daniel wasn't pressuring him. And you can't let Viper cook like that. You
Agreed.
just can't let him, especially with Lithuanians. If he's going up to 5 TCs, like, he's going to make it work. And Daniel never took a look at the right side at all, even though he had all that mobility. And big part of that as well is because Viper was raiding at the back, right? He's so distracted the whole time.
Correct. That's your answer right there. Why didn't Daniel think about the right side? Because he was so focused on everything else. He didn't think that Viper would be able to expand there. Because I think there was a window with the CA to maybe stop Viper's expansion, but Viper honestly played the perfect Lithuanian game. He got the relics. He moved out with different groups of knights and light cav at all times, and he played into the TCs super, super early. So that's the Viper that we were expecting in the early rounds. Certainly he's here now. I do unfortunately think, even though we'll see one more series from Daniel, I think that confirms he's probably a gold player next season.
Yeah, that's a good sign for Viper fans, though. It's a really nice sign. That was a well-played set, for sure.
Agreed. And I think that we will continue to see Viper play that sharp now, but it was a matter of getting there. And the next set especially, I think Viper will have similar amounts of confidence against Andy, but I actually think Andy poses more of a threat stylistically. So Viper gets...
Depends on the maps.
Yeah. Viper gets to 3-0, so Viper moves into the Second place position for now. He only has one set to play with 8 wins. Dark and Hart and Andy and Valis have 2 sets to play, so they could easily pass him. But yeah, Daniel apparently has a 0.2% chance at survival. So, don't know exactly how that happens.
0.2% chance. Let's see. So Daniel can sweep the last one against Valis, and then if Andy gets swept by Dark,
and by Viper,
Andy still has more wins there.
No. If Andy gets double swept,
and
then Daniel sweeps Valis, Daniel survives.
Yeah.
But otherwise, Daniel's out. I guess technically speaking, Viper is first at the moment because he's got 8 wins. But I was just looking at the probabilities. But Viper is ahead, just has 1 less series in hand. I would assume that Dark and Hart are going to get some wins. How many wins? I don't know. But if Dark just gets 1 win, he's ahead of Viper on tiebreak. If anyone who wants to look, obviously you can look at Liquipedia. Also, T90official.tv has all the probability stuff if you want to take a glance at it. But GG's. That was a very fun 3-0. That was an entertaining set, despite Daniel coming so close at times. A little heartbreaking. But what are you going to do against Viper, right?